Good morning and what's going on, my friends? Welcome to another Subie Shaves video with me on a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. You know I've got to say it. Subie smiles to all of you on squad goals. Thank you so much for clicking into our shave video and for joining me. I'm thrilled to have you here. Hopefully wherever you're watching from in the world, you've got yourself something cold in your hand and you're sitting in a comfy chair. Will it on in. Let's do a shave. I'm super excited. Today we're talking about the products I just got from Grace over at Team Yaqi. We are going to be sharing their brand new shave bowl. These are silicone collapsible shave bowls specifically designed for shaving. I just absolutely cannot get over this. This is a product I have looked for, I've searched for years as a person that shaves while traveling. I'm always looking for a new solution that actually works better than the slow feed travel bowls that I was using. Right? I was using these slow feed dog bowls for a long time that have nubs and stuff on the inside of them to generate lather and to collapse while I'm traveling. I'll talk a little bit about it in the video, but for me, they just didn't work as well. And I've always looked for a solution like this that didn't exist until now. These are like $8, but right now they're on sale for like $3. So these are they fully open. We're gonna get into this, but how cool is this? I'm really excited. Huge thanks again to Yaqi and to Grace for sending that out for review. I cannot wait to show you guys how well it worked. It is awesome. We're gonna talk a little bit about this as well. This is their stand. They sent me a stand that I thought was really cool, but there's some points I wanna mention and maybe some places where I think they can improve. Just some future state ideas that I came up with while using that product. We're gonna be using Cathedral by Ariana and Evans and pairing that with SoCal Hipster. If you're asking yourself, those don't match, why are we using them side by side? Subie, what are you doing here? There is a reason. This is a brand new scent from Peter. It was actually designed around the coronation of the king, right? But he realized while making this that people weren't going to care as much when it finally happened. So what they ended up doing is changing the label, changing the name, and going with the scent. I guess he had people test the sample of the scent and then kind of tweaked it from there. For me, I just wasn't sure on the scent if I loved it, right? There's this mahogany note and a sandalwood note, but ultimately what I end up getting out of this is zero blood orange and a lot of lily of the valley that kind of mixes in with a powdery note. For me, it smells a lot like just like a plainer soap. That's what it smells like to me. And I just wanted to make sure that I liked it. And in order to make sure I like something, right? Why not add a little SoCal Hipster? I love this one. It's just fruity. It smells like you drove your car through a fruit stand. At least to me, I like this, and I think it's gonna make the scent a little bit more vibrant, whereas for me right now, it's just a little flat. I kind of feel like I'm missing something. Like if the blood orange really popped, I kind of just feel like I'm missing something. The scent for me may not be as good as I would want, right? It's not something that I would reach for constantly. It's a nice scent. It's just, I feel like it's missing a note, right? Just for me. But as far as the lather goes here, take a look. And we did it in our travel scuttle. Now, let's talk about our travel bowl, excuse me, not a scuttle. No, I'm so used to using a travel scuttle. It's my fault here. I'm so used to using my travel scuttle, and this is awesome. I haven't used a travel bowl in years because my other ones broke. The lip around mine actually snapped and became dangerous. It was sharp. Whereas these, you can see they've actually enclosed, they've encapsulated the hard plastic rim on the inside of the silicone, so it maintains its rigid form. So what happens is after the plastic breaks, what happens is this bowl loses all of its form and it becomes squishy. So you're trying to lather it like this, right? And it's just losing its form, losing its shape, and it becomes very difficult to work with. Whereas this, it doesn't, because that is actually like, you know, hard up here, but it's going to maintain that kind of form and shape because it's not going to break, which I really like. It's encapsulated. The other thing I loved about this is the bottom is thicker compared to your average dog feeder bowls, right? The dog feeder bowls are thin here, so while you're pressing, they collapse and they go all funny shapes and they just don't work really good. Whereas this actually, I can hold it like this. Does that make sense? I'm actually able to hold it like this, and it provides a really good fill in the hand. I love this. This is exactly what I wanted for my long trips when I'm not, home and I'm using my big scuttle. I absolutely will be using this on my trip coming up, and I will continue to use this while I travel. I love this. I like that it comes in different colors. And again, we did that lather with our Yaqi brush, which I just think is gorgeous. Can we just get one more shot of that polished stainless steel brush? I think it's stainless, I'm not positive, but I really, really like this brush. Again, massive thanks and huge shout out to Team Yaqi. We're gonna be using their beautiful melon razor. I love this one. I had to reach for it. I was sitting there, I said to myself, what razors do I wanna use today from Yaqi, because we're gonna be highlighting the shave bowl. I love this one so much. The design on it, right? Similar to the Grand Shave King. It actually had an increase over the original Melon as far as the blade gap. But somebody mentioned, and I'll have this called out, is somewhere on the screen here. But somebody went through and analyzed the differences between this Melon and the ZMAC Melon from Grace over at Yaqi. And honestly, I think they really went to a lot of work to redesign the head cap. I mean, to use different pins and to encapsulate the blade a little bit better and to provide a little bit more rigidity as the blade gap is increased. I love this razor. It's a closer shave for me. It's an increase in performance over the standard Melon, and I love that they've gone to that kind of work to polish it. Now, the real reason why I wanted to use this today is this is the first razor I found from Yaqi, right, that they sent me, where I was absolutely astounded by the quality, where I said to myself, this could compete at a higher caliber. This is the first razor I got from them that I said to myself, if they can do this in stainless, come on, look at this. 76 grams with just an absolute perfect mirror polish that has no sharp corners, no sharp edges to it. It is absolutely gorgeous when you get it in the light. Love this one. I love this one. So I'm going to use this today with their Chippendale handle. Again, this is the Chippendale handle, and it weighs in at 76 total grams. Let's get some shaving done here, and we'll see how it does. We're using some Derby blades. And I just want to call this out. Oh, I love this razor. It's so smooth, so darn smooth. The angle for me, I just wanted to call it the angle of the razor, did change ever slightly for me versus the standard Melon. Now, I'm going to just be honest. I don't love the standard Melon razor. The standard Melon razor for me, if I were to take it to this much growth, wouldn't work. We've got over 3 days of growth. Just over 3 days. Take a look. Annihilated. Absolutely annihilated. And the Melon for me never did it. It was never like super close as far as getting down lots of growth. And I love, you see that? See how close and clean that shave of that line was? Oh yeah, perfect passes. This is a razor that is a real pleasure for me. I always get a perfect shave when I use this. And it was like one of the first razors where I said, well, if Grace can do that, what else can they do? And we've seen them now really come out swinging, right? For the fences. I mean, for the big dogs. We're seeing them produce stuff that they should not be able to do at the price that they're asking for, in my opinion, right? The Final Cut alone is a razor that just absolutely shaves way in a higher tier caliber, especially for the money. And they just re-released their new design on the handle, which it just takes it even a league further. I think that new handle design is absolutely glorious, beautiful. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the shape and form of this one. I like this a lot. Again, I feel like Yaqi razors are sometimes like choose your own design, right? Choose your own story kind of razors where they let you kind of piecemeal and pick the heads and handles that you like. And for me, that's actually what I prefer. I like being able to say, I like this handle and I like this head. Let's put them together. I had a buddy reach out to me and say that Yaqi is the perfect razor if you're looking to Franken razor something, right? I've also had friends reach out to me and say they think Yaqi is the perfect razor for people that like to travel, because if you get it stolen, right, you're not out so much money and you're not out some serialized special razor that can't be replaced, or a historic timepiece that can't be replaced, right? Some people out there want to make sure to use stuff that is really nice on the go, right, while you're traveling, so you're not like really, sacrificing anything. But if it's taken or stolen, you still want to be able to get a good shave, right? You still want to get a good shave and get a shave from something like, I don't know, just something you not worry about the whole entire time you're traveling. I hate to say that. I was talking to my wife today because we're getting ready to do a trip, right? We're sitting there, we're talking, and she goes, have you ever known somebody to get something stolen? I've never known somebody to have something stolen in a hotel room. But as far as like my fear of it happening, right, I'm always super cautious and careful while traveling. And so I always make sure to take razors. I wouldn't mind if it got lifted. And I hate saying that because I'd still care, but I'd be able to replace it for a much lower price point. Love this one again from Grace over at Team Yaqi. And I just love their new bowl. I think that bowl is going to be perfect as I go on my trip that's coming up. I think it's going to be really nice to be able to do my loads. Now, as far as loading into the dog bowl, the slow feeder bowls, I hated it. I absolutely detested it. I lost a lot of bristles. It almost felt like those little nubs and nobbins and whatever you want to call them, right, in the bottom of the bowl beat the crap out of my brush. I hated that, right? So I think this is a better concept as far as making it so it works for shaving and shaving specifically. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't load some water into that and have yourself a nice handy travel dog bowl at the same time. Sure, it's still a bowl and it's still usable that way, but as far as the actual thickness and stuff, I think there's some real improvements over what's available. It doesn't really exist. To be honest, there's some companies out there that are reusing dog bowls or selling something that's similar to a dog bowl, but I think this right here really has some good improvements. What a shave. You can just see this. We have lather and stubble that just disintegrated off my head. We're that level close. Oh, it was enjoyable. It was wonderful. And it was great to see you all here. I really enjoyed this one. And again, I think this is really the product out there. It's a quality of life product for us shavers that want to use a bowl to load our soap into. If nothing else, if you're just using it to load soap, I like the thickness to it and the ability to be able to really get a hold on it because it's rigid. Really, really nice. I like that a lot. Talk about an under the rainbows kind of bowl. I think that's great. I know it's weird to see somebody get so excited about a bowl, but when you've had problems with these things breaking or not having any body to them, right, no rigidity to them, they're a pain in the butt. And what I like to do with these, and I'm gonna give you guys a Subie tip, right? One Subie hack for the road here while we're doing our final wrap up. For me, what I like to do is I put my soap load down here. I get the fresh soap, I put it down, I let this soak in hot water. I get my water like going in the sink and I let it sit. What ends up happening is that soap ends up getting all the heat transfer from the silicone into the soap and it gets nice and soft. And when you're loading your brush, it just really wants to pick it up and all that goes into your brush, but you're not interacting with water in the soap. So as you're lathering, you're not generating all this like faux lather, right? You're not getting all the pre-lather from the water. It's actually still dry. So your soap's gonna change consistencies. It's gonna get like a thinner, goopier thing. It's actually gonna change. But as you are lathering, you'll notice it'll develop a really, really nice lather with just the additional little bit of heat. And that's something I did this morning. I made sure to show that in the lather video, right? The lather looks a little different because it's actually been heated up in my sink while it's floating around. I just let it float around in there. Love this one. Absolutely fantastic. Huge shout out again to Grace. I'm going to be using this in pictures because I think it actually looks really nice. I think for being a travel product, I think this looks really cool and really nice. I think they absolutely outdid themselves. I think they did a great job with this. Oh, great stuff. We're going to grab ourselves a little bit of the SoCal hipster and see how we did. But as far as the shave went, it's as good as the bowl. It's as good as the bowl. Really, really close. Super duper comfortable. No nicks, no cuts, no dings. Now, with the little stand, I do kind of wish that they had included a way to attach brushes. A lot of us are wet shavers by heart, by trade, whatever you want to call this, right? We like our brushes to be with our razors, and with this, it almost feels too uniform, right? Or too single-minded, right? My wife said, "Well, how are you going to put a brush in there?" But you really can't. That's not really what it's designed for. And in their description, they mentioned it's designed for like being able to carry outside. They're like, "We designed it light so you can carry it outside." I don't know who wants to carry 7 razors outside. I don't think I really want to do that, right? But as far as actually being able to support the razors and make them look nice, I really like it. I think it looks good. I think it's a good quality of life upgrade, right? For anybody that wants to be able to display the razors, but display them with a brand and display them like this. I mean, look at that. Really cool. The dowel hose don't fit everything, so you can see here, and I wanted to call that, I tried to show it in the video, you can see some of the razor designs don't fit, and the Chippendale handle is one of them that doesn't fit, which is kind of sad, but it's not, it has a hole in the handle that, you know, have its own little stand, so it can't fit in here. Just know that some razors will and will not fit, but depending on the size of the hole. Their adjustable razor, I actually was able to get to fit, and they did so as well in their photos. You can see I was able to get their adjustable razor in there, but you kind of have to push it down just a little bit. It had to be kind of pressed down a little bit, which I didn't love. I love that razor, and I hate having any kind of, you know, material rubbing against the stainless. It's beautifully polished. So just so you know, there is a little bit, oh man, I want a little more of this. A little bit more of a gap that it has to, you know, with the actual razors, you're gonna have to fiddle around to get them 100% in with some of the different ones available. Really good, very, very comfortable shave. Wow, love this one. Absolutely love this razor, and I love the scent behind the soap. Now, as far as Cathedral goes, it's unique. But at the same time, I don't know if necessarily I would love and reach for this one constantly. The base on this, absolutely killer. That Ultima base slaps. Absolutely something that I would recommend to anybody out there that's shaving, that wants the best, right? That post shave is unbeatable in my opinion, at least right now. One of the best out there in the market. And again, we just did that with the SoCal hipster and got a fantastic shave. Thank you all again for joining me. Again, beautiful shave from our Yaqi Melon stainless steel polished razor that just always gives me a beautiful, absolutely impeccable shave. And let me tell you this, it was really fun to do with you guys here. Thank you so much again for making the channel a possibility and for making it a priority. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't, please go below, smash that sub button, leave me a comment. I'd love to interact. And until I see y'all again, Subes!
So now I gotta say goodbye.